6 weeks from now, you can be running a $10,000 a month business online if you implement everything I'm about to show you. This is the exact game plan that I've used to sell over $6 million on Amazon, and it's how these guys and gals sold over $10,000 in their first 30 days. So this is going to be a week-by-week guide of everything that you should be doing down to the day, all the supplies you need, and all the actions that you need to take to hit your dream business goals. So as long as you understand the very important disclaimer that it actually takes real effort to make money online and you're not expecting to get rich quick or anything like that, let's jump into the computer here and I'll show you how to take action towards improving your future as fast as possible, understanding that it takes genuine effort. I just wanted to set that expectation before we jump in here. Signing up to sell on Amazon is not passive income. It's not free money like people like to pretend it is. As long as you're someone who's willing to work hard, you can make a ton of money doing it, and I'm excited to show you how to get that taken care of. So week one, let's start with the very basics. All we need to do during week one is to go ahead and get our Amazon seller account set up. So to do that, you just go to sell.amazon.com. You'll sign up right here. Keep in mind there is a pro plan and an individual plan. The pro plan is $40 a month on Amazon, and that's going to typically help you make a little bit more sales. And I've also seen sellers with the pro plan have an easier time getting approved to sell name brands, which is obviously very important. We want to know how much opportunity we actually have. And the big caveat to the pricing is if you have the free Amazon plan, you actually pay an extra $1 per every sale that you make. And since you click this, you're serious about getting that $10,000 milestone taken care of pretty quick. So it actually save you money to get the pro plan. Either way, this is the easy step. Just sign up for an Amazon seller account. Do it right now though, because it can take several days to actually get your Amazon account approved. Week one is also the time to go ahead and get all the essential stuff set up. So think about buying boxes. Usually I just get mine from like Walmart, Home Depot, U-Haul, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Just find some cheap boxes out there. You're also going to want things like tape and a tape gun, as well as a label printer. I personally use a Rollo label printer, but at the end of the day, even that isn't essential. You can even just start with your standard at-home printer. All we're going to need that for is to print the item labels and the shipment labels when we're ready to get stuff sent out. Obviously, we aren't quite ready for that yet, but you just want to have those supplies on hand before we start buying inventory. The other thing you want to take care of during week one is to get all the essential tools that you need. So SellerAmp is how I source profitable products, as well as Keepa. Those two are both $20 a month and you can get free trials. So just get that started right now. During week one, we're also going to want to start sourcing inventory, which I'll show you that here in just a second. And then you're also going to want to get a software called Boxem. This is how you will ship all your products, track analytics, manage your inventory. And there's also an AI assistant in Boxem that we'll use to start sourcing our first products as well. And yes, I'm fully aware you don't know what those tools are for. You don't even know what this business is. So let's jump back in here. What we're looking for with these tools is items like this right here. You can see it's just like it's a pound of flours in bulk right here. It's for cooking, something like that. Right now, you can also see there is a big sale on this brand, so we can actually get a discount on this. This is where a lot of the opportunity comes with buying and selling name brand products on Amazon, because you'll notice after the coupon that we can apply on that $30 price, we're actually going to buy these for $22.50, sell them for $47.04 about 50 times a month, and that's going to leave us with an $8 profit per unit. So we're just looking for items like this that sell very well on Amazon that we can buy for less anywhere on the internet. That's what selling on Amazon really boils down to. So now that we're still in week one and you're waiting for that Amazon account to get approved, if you want to be on the fast track to success, now is the time to just start getting those reps in, practicing the skill of sourcing. You don't really necessarily need to buy inventory yet. I think it's a good idea if you want to get ahead of the curve, but I get it. You want to wait for that approval, all that good stuff. So let's actually just go ahead and start this process, right? So far you've seen SellerAmp. That's basically how we're calculating fees and stuff. And then this is where Boxem will first come into helping you grow your Amazon business. And the reason for that is we can basically use this AI assistant. Think of it like if ChatGPT were an expert Amazon seller, especially trained to help Amazon sellers. Because what I want to do specifically is put myself in the shoe of a brand new Amazon seller. I don't know what to sell. I don't know what I should start sourcing or anything like that, right? So I want to ask my AI assistant, where should I start sourcing today? I'm going to say, hey, I'm a new seller. Auto ungated items would be best. Those are basically products that any new Amazon seller is approved to sell at any time. If you compare that to gated brands, which you have to go through an approval process to start selling those brands, we'll talk about how to get ungated, but just for the sake of ease and making our first money on Amazon, all we need to worry about is auto ungated products. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask Boxy what it thinks we should source today. And so here looks like, based on Boxy's suggestion, here's a couple brands that I can start keeping in mind. These are going to be brands that are very well dominated by third-party sellers, usually small Amazon sellers. And another nice part here is it's even sending us some resources. So if you just want to see even more of these steps in small detail, you can use all the resources that Boxy has here. But let's just start with with the first suggestion, right? So these are brands that any new seller can sell. I want to go ahead and open up one of these listings right here. And this is actually interesting. So this brand is a Walmart private label. So Walmart creates this brand. That's the only place you can buy it, which means obviously the people on this listing have to be buying from Walmart and other big retail stores, and we probably figure out where they're getting inventory from. So I want to go ahead and just open up one of the storefronts here. And this sourcing method is called reverse sourcing, basically just looking at what other people are already having success with. To get to that first $10,000, this is really all I would do. A lot of people think that you want to go like directly to websites and start sourcing for products from there. But when you're really just kind of getting the ball rolling, all you need to do is to see what's working for other sellers, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Your goal of 10,000 bucks a month is awesome, but it's really nothing revolutionary. There's a ton of Amazon sellers doing it. In fact, there's about 55,000 Amazon sellers last year that sold over 1 million. So they're crushing those numbers, obviously. So I know it feels like that goal is really hard to reach right now, but for me and lots of other Amazon sellers, it's really just a game of getting what I'm about to show you down very comfortably, right? So when I'm looking at these stores, I want to figure out which of these items I can get for that max cost option, right? So here, still during week 1, just practicing the sourcing process, I want to start figuring out how to actually source these items. So set aside an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, whatever you can afford to spend. Start Googling some of these products. So in this case, if I can buy this for $13.60 or less, I am going to be making profit, and that might actually be possible. Let's see. It says it might be 10 bucks at Walmart, so that'd be pretty cool. Let's check that out. Let's see, popping that up. It does say code in box. I wonder, is this like a code, or are people going to be expecting an actual game in there? So let's open up the listing. Yeah, it's hard for me to tell looking at this if they're expecting an actual cartridge. I would assume so. So I'm not sure there's going to be much here. Yeah, and there is actually a cartridge you can see right there. So I would probably stay away from this just because customers are probably going to be wanting that. And then the ones with the actual cartridge seems like they're either 30 or 20 bucks depending on where you're getting it. And remember, we need to buy this for $13 to meet our ideal profit. So we'll keep on scrolling. The other thing to think about during week 1 is just looking at as many items as possible, getting comfortable with starting to understand the data on these listings. So when I'm looking at the storefront view, for example, I can see the orange line is showing me price over time and the green line is showing me demand over time. Basically, the closer the green line is to the bottom, being the #1 fastest selling item in that category, that's obviously better. And then the orange line is showing me the price over time. So it looks like this price has been decreasing recently. So maybe not as many people are buying this game. It's making the item not really profitable anymore. So during week 1, just get comfortable at knowing what these graphs even mean, get a little bit of experience with the tools, and try to find something that's profitable. So we're going to do that on this store until we find something, just so you can see the process. And then I'd really recommend going out and practicing the skill yourself. Let's see. So again, line by line here. Do I think I can buy this for $11.50? Probably not. It's like a name brand bra, that kind of thing. If you're a new Amazon seller though, you have no idea. So just go ahead and start Googling things, right? So in this, I can see you can buy it for $11.49. A lot of these are, which style was it? Is this Cloud 9? So Cloud 9 is 50 bucks, 18, 38. That's not the right style. So the style that we're looking for is a little bit cheaper than that. So let's keep on going here. Let's see. We got like a 4-pack of t-shirts from Target. We can get these for 20 bucks. Goodfellow & Co is a Target brand, by the way. That's why I know that we're probably looking for Target here. So those are 20 bucks and we need to buy these for $15.51. What we can do though is just double check and make sure there's no coupons or sales. That's always how I tend to make items profitable. When you're sourcing, especially early on, just understand that most items are not going to be profitable just like sitting here at the retail price, right? What will be profitable is when you figure out ways to create extra discounts, right? So to figure that out, we can even just go back to Boxy and say, I found a product that's close to profitable at Target. What are some discount methods that I can use to maybe make more profit? And so here in this case, it's suggested some specific ways we can make items more profitable at Target. So we could try discount codes, coupons. We checked that. Target's red card, that is interesting. Typically, I don't like to sign up for I think that's probably going to be their credit card. I don't usually like to do that very much just because I don't usually like to do that very much. I like to try to keep all my purchasing on one clean credit card there. So you buy discounted gift cards for Target. Okay, we can definitely try that. And I buy discounted gift cards from Card Bear. And it seems like Target's the second most popular website today. So I can see all the different places that offer discounted gift cards on this website. Seems like Card Cookie is offering an 8% discount. And if you've never done this before, this is how you're able to create a lot of profit on those items like I was talking about. So basically we can go in here and buy a $150 gift card for 141 bucks, immediately locking in a 6% discount. And you also notice only redeemed online. So when we buy this, it's going to email us this gift card and then we'd be able to go back over to our listing here. And in this case, knowing that we need these for $17.51, I don't think it's going to be good enough. So 20 bucks minus 6% discount. So that's really what we're going to be paying is about $18.80, which would mean that we'd want to sell one of these packs of t-shirt for probably 38 bucks or so, maybe even 40. Yeah, even a little bit higher than that, probably 41 bucks to meet our ideal ROI. I do notice though that one of these sizes here, you see how this, it says the most expensive size in this listing is $42. That means there might be some profit here. So let's go ahead and check Keepa. That's that last sourcing tool we already talked about. and try to find that really expensive version. So filtering down here, this shows me all of the listings here in order of highest price to the lowest. And for some reason, I don't know if I've actually ever seen this before, but the highest price is 35 bucks, but this listing says 42. So probably just going to go ahead and have to pass, unfortunately. If we're able to find the one that thinks is 42 bucks, that would be interesting. Is it this one? Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything's popping up there. No worries. So let's go ahead and continue on the list. See, we got like a bra or something here. I think these are also from Target. Like I said, when you find one of these sellers that kind of sells Target brands and Walmart brands, it's pretty easy to know where they're sourcing from. So let's see, what's our most expensive version on this? And then we can see if there's any potential profit here. So these are 23 bucks. Looking at the Amazon listing, again, I go to variations on Keepa just to see all the different styles of this bra here. Seems like the most expensive styles here are 50 bucks, which is definitely a much better spot to be here. So what I want to show you next is how I figure out which of these specific styles is worth selling. And usually you can tell pretty quickly based on the price chart and the new offer count chart. So this is the past history of the product price basically. So you can see this product is pretty evenly priced. It was almost always a $50 item, and you can see 1 to 2 sellers. Really what I'm looking for on these graphs is to see a lot of changes. The more the price is changing and the more the new offer count is changing, that means that the sales are rotating between lots of different sellers and people are selling, stocking in, selling out, all that good stuff. So I'm looking down the list and I see this is kind of the first one I'm pretty interested in, because you see how the buy box price is changing around a lot. Usually you'll see that kind of fluctuation where it's changing between different sellers as the item sells, and that's exactly what's happening here. These sellers here are basically just like taking turns winning this add to cart button here, winning the buy box on Amazon is what it's called. And since we can buy this for 23 bucks, you can see we've found an item that's going to make us about $9 in profit right here, and it sells 180 times a month or so. So again, while we're waiting for that Amazon account to get approved, start sourcing, start getting some of these products. If you want to buy them and just get them ready to ship in when the account is approved, I think that's awesome. If you just want to pretend you bought them and track the item and see if you would have made profit over the next week or so, that's also a great idea. So if you're brand new, I know that probably feels like I'm throwing a lot at you. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense so far. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And now that week 1 is over, let's talk about setting realistic expectations for the 6-week challenge here and figure out how much money you're actually going to need to make 10,000 bucks. No worries if you don't have the capital required. Just hit the dream goal that you can based on these calculations here. But what we can do is basically figure out how much money we need to spend based on just historical data about my Amazon store, about tons of Amazon sellers that I've talked to. So what you're going to notice is typically for every dollar you sell on Amazon, you've spent about 50 cents to make that happen. If you're thinking logically, obviously to sell $10,000 on Amazon, we probably spent about $5,000, right? And we can even use this simple calculator here I built. You can see, hey, if I want to sell 10,000 bucks, how much do I need to spend? 5,000 bucks. And if you're brand new to Amazon, I didn't have 5,000 bucks when I started. No worries if that's like a big overwhelming number. Just keep in mind it'll take you longer than that 45-day target to hit 10,000 bucks if you have significantly less. If you do have the money, then the only thing holding you back is really just the knowledge of how to source and simply putting in the time, right? And we already broke down how to source products. So now the sourcing end is up to you. And if you want to even boil it down on a daily goal, I know that helped me when I was starting out as an Amazon seller. Keep in mind every day you source products, not all days are equal. Some days it's going to be really easy to spend 1,000 bucks. Some days it's going to be hard to spend 100 bucks. Not every day has a ton of coupons and sales and all that good stuff, right? So I like looking at it on a monthly goal, but if you're just like a day by day person, there's really no reason you can't spend 170 bucks on profitable products every day. That's 1 to 2 profitable items. For example, with these bras that we just found, if you only bought 7 units of these, that would hit your daily spend goal for the day, right? And honestly, on all the new products that I'm buying, keep this in mind for your week 2 progress. All these new products, your goal during week 2 is to buy 5 to 10 units of as many different products as possible so you can cast a wide net, start losing money on some, start making some money on other products, and that's going to allow you to kind of learn lessons. Why did this item lose me money? Why did this item make me so much money? And how do I restock that as fast as possible? So for week 2, when your Amazon account is approved, set that realistic goal for yourself based on how much money you have. Go ahead and start placing those test orders on products. And really the third goal that you're going to want to take care of is actually sending some products off to Amazon. With our goal in mind of hitting that 10K number in the first 45 days, we really need to start getting some stuff into Amazon as soon as possible. Because when it comes to selling these products on Amazon, we can either do Amazon FBA, which is where we ship direct to the warehouse and then the warehouse is going to ship to our customers for us, or we can do Amazon FBM, which is where we list the items on Amazon, and as soon as they're listed, a customer can buy it, but we have to ship the item directly to the customer. One thing you'll also notice about FBA versus FBM is you're typically able to make more sales per day via FBA. You get that 2-day prime shipping. Amazon's customer service, they're taking care of the order, so they tend to give more sales to FBA sellers. Making FBM sales is awesome, especially if your goal is to get quick revenue. A lot of sellers will take advantage of FBM. So let's actually jump into the computer over here and I'll show you how to list an item on Amazon, whether it's FBM or FBA. And let's actually go ahead and start getting shipments sent off to Amazon FBA so we can get those sales rolling in as fast as possible. And by the way, if you already know how to list items and ship them, just go ahead and skip skip to this timestamp right here. We need to go into Boxem. You just go ahead and press create shipment. I'll go ahead and name the shipment, select the fulfillment type. Again, you can do FBM. Just for today's video, I'm going to show you how to make an FBA shipment just because I think that's going to be the more scalable method long term. Go ahead and set a ship from address and then also select small parcel. Unless you got a pallet to ship out right now, which I don't figure you do, but you can ship pallets on Boxem. One really big thing to take advantage of on Boxem is the 2D barcodes that you can get through Boxem. You have to use a software to get 2D barcodes. You cannot get these on Amazon, and they generally help my products and all other Boxem users make sales on our listings a couple days faster because they can help at the check-in process. And it also doesn't take any extra work to generate that. So I'll show you what that looks like. We'll also go ahead and auto set our prices just above the buy box so that we can lower it when the product checks in. Sometimes you'll send a product in at $100. Price on the listing goes up to 120. Your price is still at $100 and you lose out on some potential profit. So I always like automatically listing my products well above what they're currently selling for. I can lower them back down if I need to when they actually check in. And then I'm also going to go ahead and store all the buy costs, store my supplier, date purchase. That way I can make sure that my analytics on the homepage are actually super accurate. So let's go ahead and create this shipment here. And this is where we're going to go ahead and add one of the products we found earlier. I just went ahead and listed this as an example on my store. We're going to go ahead and add this glucose tablets here. Go ahead and add this to our shipment. And this is where you'll fill out all that information that is relevant, right? Go ahead and fill out what you paid for it. Go ahead and fill out the quantity. I'm going to say we had 10 of these just as an example. I'm going to say we bought these from Walmart because that's where we were going to source those from. Our date purchased is today. And then in this case, our prep category is no prep needed. If you ever have anything that is like a liquid or fragile, that kind of thing, you'll mark it there. And then we'll go ahead and add this to our shipment. And you can also add as many products as you want to an FBA shipment, just so you can see how it works when you have multiple. I'll go ahead and add one of these auto ungated products like these Stafford t-shirts here. Go ahead and add that to our shipment. So we got 10 units. And that is step one. All we need to do basically is say, hey, Amazon, here's all the products I want to send to you right now. Here is the quantity. And then you're also going to say, hey, Boxem, here's what I paid for it. Here's my supplier. So you can have all those analytics stored. If you want to share a nice, shiny, estimated profit tile on social media, show people that you're serious about making some money on Amazon, you can take a screenshot of that, put it on Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing. Been loving seeing you guys share all the profit you guys got going out lately on social media. But let's go ahead and continue on and then submit these products to Amazon. Once that's all loaded, we're going to be on step 2. With this step, where all we need to do is say, hey, Amazon, of those products I told you about, here is the boxes that I've gone ahead and placed these in. And you also need to label these products. So in the supplies early in the video, we talked about FN SKU labels. That is what you're going to print these little labels on right here. You can print these labels via a standard at-home printer on a 30 up label sheet, or the smarter, kind of faster way to do it if you got a little bit of money to spend on a laser printer is going to be to print these in a 2x1 label via a Rollo label printer. No matter what printer you're using, you can just configure the printer settings on Boxem. It's going to automatically sense what kind of printer you have and make it as simple as possible, so you're not dealing with a bunch of printer headaches and that kind of thing. I know we've all been there with a printer at some point in our lives. And then we're also going to be able to see all the prep that is required for each product that we're sending in. So on this example, all we need to do is FN SKU label it. Since this is a multi-pack, we'd go ahead and put this in a bag together and then put the label on the outside. This one also specifically says that it needs a poly bag because it's a white t-shirt. Makes sense. It would get really gross on the belts moving around at Amazon's warehouse. So we got to cover it up, make sure that the customer gets a nice clean shirt. And then we'll go ahead and assign these products to boxes. So you can add as many different items as you want to a box. Just don't go over 50 pounds on that box. So as you're adding these items to the box, just again, make sure you're printing the FN SKU label. Cover the original UPC barcode of that product if it had one as well. That way Amazon doesn't get confused and scan the wrong barcodes, that kind of thing. And then as you're going, you can also edit the dimensions and weight of the box. If you want to save a certain size box as a template, a size box you use all the time, you can also save it as a template and use that over and over again. For this, you'd obviously have a tape measure and a scale, so you know what it weighs and how big it is, that kind of thing. We'll go ahead and update that. Call it 40 pounds for the sake of example here. And by the way, if you ever need any kind of more special labels, you can also print those on Boxem as well. So I used to buy these kind of separately on Amazon, but now Boxem saves me a little bit of money. You can print like, hey, if this is a set, you can print that out, put it on your item. If you need a suffocation warning on your item, if you need a fragile warning, if you need to write literally anything, you just want to print a label for the office, that kind of thing, you can type it out and instantly create a custom label right there. It's a nice quality of life feature you can play around with there. But now that we've got all of our things boxed up, in this case, they're just both in the same box. It's not a super heavy box. If you have more than 50 pounds worth of stuff, remember to make another box and put those in there. We'll go ahead and continue and submit that to Amazon. After that's all submitted, you're going to see 3 different shipping options from Amazon. When you're you're using Boxem for these shipments, you're going to see all these different options. So you know you're getting kind of the best price as far as where you want to ship this item. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose to ship this from Florida to Florida, basically. See, for 40 pounds, it's going to end up costing us $21. So typically I end up paying about 60 cents a pound per item that I send to Amazon. In this case, you can see that pretty true. It's a little under 60 cents a pound here in this case, but I obviously want to choose the cheapest shipping. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on, and that is going to confirm that and accept the shipping charges. And then that's going to take you to the last step here. You can see your shipment is complete. All you need to do is go ahead and print out your UPS and FBA box labels. You can see this is the FBA box label. This is what they're going to scan when it gets to Amazon, especially this 2D barcode, that extra barcode I was talking about, that is going to kind of help them see what's inside the box. And we've seen it speed up your check-in time, so you make money a little bit faster. And then this is what UPS is going to scan just to make sure they know you actually paid for the shipping. Going to get to the fulfillment center for them to start checking it in, eventually shipping those products out to your customers as they sell. Keep in mind, you can also pay UPS to come pick up boxes for you. It's about $6 to $12 depending on how far away you live. So save yourself some time with that. It's usually worth it, but otherwise you can just go drop it off at your local UPS. So now that you've spent the first 2 weeks getting set up on Amazon, finding that first profitable product and sending it into Amazon FBA, what's next in week 3? For the most part, week 3 is just going to be a little bit of a waiting game, unfortunately. When it comes to sending those products into Amazon, it usually takes about a week to 14 days for those first sales to start rolling in. So during week 3, if your goal was that $10,000 number and you didn't spend $5,000 on products yet, try to get to that number as fast as possible. And week 3 is also a great opportunity to start testing some FBM products if you want to see how that side of the business works. To start testing those first FBM sales, it'll really just be a short-term boost to your revenue because you're able to get items sold so quickly after listing. Just do one quick check if you want to do that though. See, on every item, you'll see the buy box pie chart on SellerAmp. This is basically showing me who has made sales over the last X days. So in this case, I'm looking at the last 30 days, and I can see over the last 30 days, every sale on this listing has been an FBA seller. You'll notice on listings that typically the buy box tends to prioritize those FBA sellers. So on this probably wouldn't be a super great candidate for doing Amazon FBA. What would be a better candidate though is something like this right here, where you can see on the Keepa data, do you notice how the buy box color at the top changes to blue and it says FBM pretty often as I'm moving along here? All of those are times where an FBM seller was the one that Amazon is going to give the next sale to on this listing. And that's not always going to be the case, but when you see listings like this, means it's a very FBM friendly listing. And if you want to test some FBM products, do it on listings that look like this, where you see other existing FBM sellers already getting sales. If you don't see that, just go ahead and send that item into Amazon FBA and you should have no problem making sales via FBA. And the next thing you can start doing during week 3, really, you can do this at any point in your Amazon journey. You're going to end up doing it pretty much daily for the rest of your business. And that's just getting approved to sell new brands on Amazon, especially ones that you've already sourced profitably. So if I dive back into Amazon Seller Central here, let's say you're looking at a storefront and you're looking at some of those auto ungated clothing brands, but they also have some other clothes that you want to sell in a gated brand, right? So something like Carter's Clothing, that's like a baby clothes, for example. I've actually sold a good amount of these, but it is a brand that's gated. So for me, when I click into one of these listings here and I select the new condition, you're going to see it's going to say that I can sell this product right here. So that means I'm already ungated to sell this brand. For you, it's probably going to say apply to sell. And just so you can see how that works, I'm going to pull up an example of a brand that I'm not allowed to sell, at least at the moment, is DeWalt. So if I pull this up right here, it's going to say, hey, I need to apply to sell this brand. I'll go ahead and click that, click request approval. And sometimes you get auto ungated right here. It'll just say congratulations. That's how those auto ungated brands will work, by the way. But in this case, it wants us to submit an invoice for up to at least 10 units. And for me as a new Amazon seller, I got really scared of this. I thought I had to be working with like big national wholesalers or something like that. So I didn't get ungated on anything for literally a year plus into my business. I'd already sold $100,000 or more on Amazon at that point before I even knew how to get ungated. So please take advantage of this and don't be like me here. But what we can do is just go ahead and source one of these brands profitably. Let's say you found that clothing brand in somebody's storefront. You bought it profitably from the Carter's website, or for DeWalt, you bought some DeWalt tools at Lowe's that are already profitable. You just download the email they send you. Make sure the address on the email they send you matches your Amazon seller account. That's what Amazon's going to use to verify that you're actually the one that bought that inventory, to prove that you buy legitimate inventory to sell on Amazon yourself. Go ahead and upload that file right here as a PDF. Just download that email, whatever you got to do, upload it right here, submit that to Amazon, and then submit that until you get approved. Keep in mind, it's normal to get denied a few times on average. Amazon really just wants to make sure that only legitimate sellers are on the platform. So if you get any denials, keep submitting. That's all I do. And you can keep adding more information as well. Sometimes they just want to see more information. They want to see a picture of the item. They want to see the tracking information. They just want to see the full picture that you're actually buying legitimate inventory so that it makes sense they're keeping counterfeits off of Amazon. And then your next weekly task here, still within, I'd say, week 3 to 4, you will start having some of those first sales happen. So as those sales start to roll in, whether they're FBA or FBN, pay close attention to those sales. The way you really scale an Amazon reselling business is staying in stock on those good products as much as possible. So as you start selling those first couple test units, it's going to be really easy to sell out, obviously, when you're only buying 5 or 10 units at a time. So to track what's working in your business effectively, you'll just go into the analytics tab on Boxem. You can either look at your best products ranked by revenue, profit, whatever you want to look at, and just start to go in there as often as you can and start restocking the items that are working really well for you. The main thing to remember, your goal right now is $10,000, but honestly, the biggest thing that separates a $10,000 a month seller and a $100,000 a month seller is the ability to be really good at restocking items and doubling down on what already works, right? It's rarely buying a million items and that kind of thing. It's doubling down on 10, 20 products that worked really well. So start building those healthy habits of checking for restock starting on week 3 to 4. By week 5, the process of sourcing products should be starting to click. I know for me, it took about a month, and that's pretty standard among other Amazon sellers recently, is that for it to really be comfortable when you're sourcing inventory, for you to go out there and spend thousands of bucks in a day, it's going to take at least a month. So when that comfortability starts to kick in, that's where I would do something that I didn't do personally as a new Amazon seller, but I see tons of new Amazon sellers who do take advantage of this. They're growing much faster than I did because they're putting themselves out there and finding other Amazon sellers to talk to. Even though at this stage in the business, it feels like you don't really know anything, guess what? There's a ton of other Amazon sellers in your same footing. Maybe they've sold their first couple $1,000 on Amazon at this point. In our example here, you're a month into the business, so you understand the basics, but so do other Amazon sellers, and other Amazon sellers have learned things that you haven't, and you've learned things that they haven't. So this is by far the most ignored piece of advice I give, but the people who listen to it make the most money on Amazon. It's just an easy way to hog opportunity. During week 5 or even sooner, go ahead and get a simple social media page set up. Share a post once a week, once every other day, whatever you're comfortable with. Post some boxes you got going out. Share an L you took. Oh, I bought this product, I lost $100. Here's what I learned, that kind of thing. Keep it super simple. You'll see lots of great examples on social media. If you just look up like Amazon FBA, there's tons of other small Amazon sellers who are just kind of sharing the journey, trying to find some other people to talk to. And that's also a good opportunity for you to reach out to other Amazon sellers, ask some questions. I'm obviously happy to help, but what you really want is 1 to 2 Amazon seller friends who are at the same level as you. You can hop on a Zoom call whenever you're sourcing inventory together, you're solving each other's problems. That makes the game way more fun and way more profitable. And if getting on social media is too scary, I've got an even easier starting point for you. Down below, I've got a free Discord community you can check out. It's about 55,000 Amazon sellers in there. Share what you're up to on Amazon, ask any questions, and then also use that to talk to other new Amazon sellers who are in your position. If you understood how important that advice I just gave you is, you go take advantage of that and you'll make a bunch of money on it. The other thing to think about is that at the start of week 5, if you haven't already spent the $5,000 that you need to hit that $10,000 revenue goal, it's probably going to be very hard for you to get that goal unless you're taking advantage of short-term FBM. So at that beginning of week 5, make sure you just check how much money you've spent. If your goal was that $10,000, get to $5,000 and spend as fast as you can. And then that takes us on to week 6. At this point, you should just be seeing those sales roll in. You're continuing to restock those items. And if you took proper daily action like these guys did, you should be well on your way to that first $10,000, if not already there. The things you want to start thinking about in this phase after you've got your sea legs is start thinking about those other short-term opportunities coming up. Right now, while I'm recording this video, we've got the holiday season coming up. So it's a really good idea to start doing a little bit of extra sourcing, looking into holiday items, looking into just any items people give as gifts, starting to prepare yourself for those big seasons coming up and making lists of products that tend to increase in price during those peak demand seasons. At the end of the day, though, I truly do believe that literally anyone can be selling $10,000 a month on Amazon. It's not rocket science. It's buy cheap, sell for more, learn how to do it at scale. I do think it takes some special know-how, some things you'll figure out on your own to get to those $100,000 months, but $10,000 a month sounds like a crazy goal right now, but it's extremely achievable for you. Those examples I showed you, they did it in a month. You can definitely do it in 6 weeks. And if you implement everything we just talked about, you should be well on your way to crushing those goals. And if you have any questions about what we broke down, just drop that down below. I'm always happy to chat with you. Just keep in mind that selling on Amazon isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not passive income, but if you're willing to put real effort into everything we just talked about, I'm excited to see your growth as an Amazon seller. And now that you're here, this is your time to take action. If you didn't already, go back to those week 1 action items, get all the tools you need, get SellerAmp, get Boxem, get the Amazon seller account, get set up, and then start running through the process. And one other free resource you can take advantage of, we host free live classes every couple weeks. You can get the invite down below. We break down even more super powerful sourcing methods, and we also tailor those to whatever holiday is coming up next. So if you want to know how to be fully prepared in your business, click the link for the free class. We hop on Zoom. It's a private free call, and I'm excited to see you on there. But I really appreciate you watching this video. Hit the subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds if you want to add some free value back to my business. And if this wasn't enough detail and you want a 4-hour long free Amazon course, you can click this video right here.